and thank you for joining us today. I'm Kathy Cronin, and I want to introduce the fabulous women who are joining me on this panel. We have Karen Downey and Reverend Linda Burdett, and I'm going to lead the topic, but let's take a moment to help get centered before we go into this discussion. So if it helps to close your eyes to take away from the distractions, and then just focus on your breathing. Get your breath, slow breath in, and then exhaling, releasing any tension. This helps you to get centered into this present moment. So let's feel another breath in, hold that for a moment, and then just exhale with a deep sigh and release any tension that you're hanging on to. And we call upon Spirit and the guiding light and the wisdom and knowledge and God Almighty and the heavens above to join with us today as we embark upon this journey and this information that has been brought to our attention. We share this with joyful hearts and with the wisdom that we know has been enlightened by the divine. We thank you for the blessings of those who join us today, and we ask you to keep everyone safe and sound and bring healing and wellness to everyone. Amen. So,
Amen.
so my topic today is taken from an article written by Dr. Gary Chapman, and he's the author of the 5 Love Languages. And it's become sort of cliche now that everyone seems to talk about what's their love language. It must be their love language. So if you haven't had a chance to read Dr. Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, it's a wonderful way to understand how we each have a different way of relating and connecting with each other. So this topic he's talking about is called What's Going On? He goes, and this is what he wrote. Have you ever watched a movie and had difficulty figuring out the plot? If so, I'm assuming you either turned it off or turned your attention elsewhere, like a phone, being on your texting, reading something else, or just, saying you're distracted. When you don't understand how things are connected, you begin to lose interest. Boredom begins to set in, and eventually you give up trying to figure out the point of it all. And in my habit, I have a habit of going to find something to munch on because I'm bored watching this program because I don't understand it. Whether it's on the big screen or in your relationships, it's vitally important to create contexts for specific interactions. Your spouse, child, friend, or coworker cannot read your mind. They may not always understand why you said what you said or did what you did. Although your actions and words may make sense to you, they don't always make sense to others. Therefore, it's important to help create context when you sense others are confused by your actions or reactions, especially ones that are inconsistent with your normal behavior patterns. This will help them better understand who you are and reconcile your behavior. For example, when you are under a lot of stress, you may react with less patience towards others, snapping at those around you with cynical or cutting remarks. This can be confusing for others if they don't understand where your lack of patience is coming from. Stress is never an excuse for treating others poorly, but when others understand the context, they will often be more patient and empathetic, possibly seeking to alleviate your stress in one way or another. Confusion can be problematic for relationships and often cause distance. Communication, on the other hand, can help create the context by which relationships can grow closer and become healthier. Let's learn to communicate the why behind our behavior in ways that are helpful to our relationships. I thought this was a really interesting topic to open up a discussion with my panel and to be able to share with others, because I'm sure we all have been in situations where our own personal behaviors is so different from what we are, and what is recognizing that it may be that we're under stress, that we've had a bad day. Someone said something to us that was hurtful and we're taking it out on others. And I found in myself is that this was helpful in saying, identifying the why. Why am I snapping at somebody? Why am I behaving in a certain way? And the other side of that coin is looking at those I'm interacting with. Maybe they are being short. Maybe it's confusing to you as to, well, why are they acting like this? Why are they treating me this way? And so the question maybe is, why? Ask yourself the why, and maybe ask the person, is there something going on? Are you feeling very stressed? Is there something I can help you talk about? And open up that line of communication. And they always say the best thing and the most important thing in a marriage or any relationship is the communication. So this sort of says to look behind the action or behavior and ask the why. Why am I behaving this way? Why am I acting like this? What is it that I need? Maybe you need a hug. Maybe you need some kind words. And maybe it's just a matter that you just need a little time to get centered and focus. And I often have to ask myself the why. Why did I snap at that person like that? What was behind that? And then it's easier to say, hey, I'm sorry that I snapped at you. This is what's going on for me. And maybe I we can get back, because how many times we look at it, relationships have really died because we didn't understand the why behind it, and we didn't understand what their love language was. And in the love language, it's like, you need to understand that there's a point that we are speaking and our actions tell what our languages are. Are we a person of service? Are we a person that needs kind words or affirmate, being affirmed, praise? Are we a person that needs a hug and that, taking our hand? So in those different 5 love languages, it's very helpful to understand what the needs of the person are and your own needs. So I want to open this up to my panel to share their thoughts on what's going on and how they handle situation when they're not understanding what's happening among them in their interactions with others. So who would like to share first? Hi, Karen.
I thank you for that topic, Kathy. And what kept coming to my mind as you were reading that, in fact, the first thing that popped into my mind was, oh my God, 33 years ago, 34 years ago, after my divorce. And I was having a conversation with my son, and I do not know what prompted the topic. Um, but he said to me, Mom, men and women do not think alike. And I mean, it floored me. It's like I had never thought about that. And in all the 30 years that I was married, I really thought he could read my mind. It, I never even questioned that. It's like, he should read my mind. So that was the first thing that popped into my mind. And since I'm not working and out in the public, or at a job specific, someplace, I don't have bunches of interactions with people. But I do know that in different instances, and it might be a phone call, um, that didn't get returned. And that kind of happened actually in the last couple of weeks, where I called and left a message at the chiropractor's office and I never heard back. And to take something personal. Oh, they don't really like me. Oh, I did have to question them on a particular bill. So now they're not calling me because oh, I stepped out of the norm. So my problem is taking things personal, and I know that. And another one of my defects in handling things is to go away, to disappear, instead of bringing up something that I may have gotten upset about or didn't understand or whatever. It's like just, you know, let it go and go away. So neither of those are very appropriate, and especially since I'm an adult. But I'm always learning something. So that's a really good topic. And another little thing that I have thought about though recently, I spend a lot of time driving back and forth to Colorado Springs, and the traffic isn't always good, and there is usually somebody that's driving rather erratically. And the first instinct is to think something derogatory. But I have learned now to go, you know what? There's a lot going on in the world, and the people that are out there dealing with the public and whatever have a lot on their mind. Then they have to get in a car and go to work. And so it's I just look at that driver differently and realize I'm responsible for watching all around me. Maybe other people aren't going to signal. Maybe other people aren't going to drive in the slow lane and all of those things. So I've kind of noticed, a collective thing going on the freeway. So that's what I had to say. Thanks for the topic.
Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. Reverend Linda.
Yes. Wow, I love this topic. And it's so funny. We were just in a group last Thursday and somebody brought up, oh, that's their love language. Um, so many different things. Great feedback, great topic. My husband he opens doors for me. It's a part of his love language and gets a little testy if I don't stand there and wait for him to come and open the door. And my thought is often, do I look like I don't know how a door works? But over the years, I have realized this is his love language. And if he doesn't do it now, I kind of miss it. It's like, hey, what's going on? I'm opening my own door. So that kind of turned out to be completely different than what I thought. I'm going to comment also on Karen's feedback, which I thought was fabulous. Whenever I'm taking something personally, I really have to watch for the story that I created about the situation. This happened, and then what did I tell myself it meant? Or how did I build it in my own mind? And I really try and just not tell a story. Oh, they're still mad at me for this, that, just don't do that. Leave the story out and ask clarifying questions. Wait a minute. What I heard you say was that what you meant to say, or whatever it may be? And that helps a lot. I do tend to let go of people who are consistently toxic or kind of trying to get me on their team or to believe what they say. I just don't really spend a lot of time and work in those relationships because those people are in a different place than I am. Not, cursing them or thinking less of them, just that they don't fit into the life that I'm trying to live. I really look to cultivate friendships that bring me to my highest and best. And sometimes that's just not what we get on our own or with other people. So thanks for the topic. I hope that made sense. I feel like I was all over the place. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. This is a type of topic that can go everywhere. And I liked what Karen shared about the fact that, you know, she expected that her husband could read her mind. And how often I will make the comment to my my spouse, my husband, and say, you know, how long we've been together, you should know, and I should on him, like he should know this is what I want or this is what I do. And it's like it's that point of like, well, what's going on? Why don't you understand, this? And, sometimes he's come back with, well, sometimes you want it this way and sometimes you want it that way. So, it is like, what is going on? And, it's like we are confusing in our own selves. So I hope I will call everybody back and share if anybody has any more they want to add to this. I think this is a great topic to within any of your relationships. It's even sitting down with your children or, when anytime you sort of go, what's going on? Maybe that's the big question. If somebody's acting out of difference from what they do, is maybe the question to ask is, what's going on? What's happening? Why are you behaving this way? Or why is it? And asking ourselves the same thing. So I appreciate anybody else who had add anything that to this. Yes,
I
Karen.
do. I just want to briefly say, and this comes from good old 12-step recovery programs, is the most dangerous place to be is in my mind, the squirrel cage mind that goes on between my ears. And, even though I've known that for quite a few years now, it still bites me.
It does. It does come back to bite us 'cause so I want to thank everybody that joined us. I appreciate my um, panel that's with me, Karen and Reverend Linda. It's always great to have your input, and I hope that if you've watched this helps you maybe understand that something that's you might be asking yourself like, what's going on right now? Why why are why are my kids not calling me? Why are what is those expectations that you might be having, or what is it that you're having? Some and how can open that communication, open that door of communication. Like I said, biggest question sometimes may just be what's going on. When my husband comes home from work, he may not say much of anything, and I have to sort of go, okay, what was your day like? So um, he may just want that peace and quiet. So I appreciate everyone who comes and looks up these videos. We want to reach out to you. And if you have any, if you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. If you have any comments about it or something you got, share this with friends, give them the links to this video and spread the word out there because it helps everybody. You may know somebody who is going through a troubling relationship, and this may be something that'll give them, understanding the love languages that are being spoken in those relationships. And I do highly recommend if you get a chance, if you haven't read the five love languages, it really is an eye opener to understanding how we are all different and how like Reverend Linda shared that her husband's love language is being of service, is opening those doors, doing those things. And so it's very helpful for understanding everything that's going on. If you want to be a part of our panel, we welcome anybody to join us. If you just want to just do one episode, if you have a topic that you would like to bring and share, at the end of this video, there's a little blurb from the church. You can reach out to Unity Church of El Cajon that sponsors this video, and they will connect with us to get your things. And you will, if you leave a comment, you're going to get some feedback, and it's helpful for us to know the direction we're going. So, and we welcome everybody. Come and join us again, and may you have a very wonderful day and enjoy the sunshine, and may the clouds disappear in your life. So, bye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.